What's going on YouTube? Donald Paris 21 here, and I'm actually here today with another deck profile for you guys for my Cardfight Vanguard. This is actually my own deck profile, not anyone else's, so it's been a while since I actually made a deck of my own recently. Just been waiting actually for the Soulless OTT cards to come out in set 7, which came out a little while ago, but I've been a little busy playtesting and life overall, which is why I'm doing the deck profile now. But it's been playtesting really well. I actually took it to New York regionals, and I did actually pretty well. I lasted through about 7 rounds till I got eliminated. Unfortunately, it was mainly due to bad luck, but the deck's been testing really well. It's very consistent and very powerful. Without further ado, my deck list will be in the description as always. Let's get started. So first off, with your starter, you have your Little Witch Lulu. Missing link to the Soulless OTT for a while. Just when you ride a grade 3 Oracle Ding Tank, move her to the reverse circle, and Soul Blast 2, draw 1 card. So she's like your built-in luck bird that you can always pretty much get off. So really key card in the deck. Next up for grade 1s. Actually, let's go grade 3s. Grade 3s, you have, of course, your 4 Scarlet Witch Coco. Basically, whenever you ride her, and you have one or less cards in the soul, Counterblast 2, draw 2 cards. Counterblast 2, draw 2 cards. So combine this with Lulu. Lulu, of course, will clear out the soul. So you draw 1 card off Lulu, and then Coco's conditions are now met, so you can just draw 2 cards. So essentially you're getting a +3 from it, which is always good. Then for my other grade 3s, I run 1 Oracle Guardian Apollon. I was actually testing out Sky Witch Nana, and I didn't like her abilities that much, and her skills, I don't know, she's just not worth playing. I like Apollon because he's a good alternative if you can't go into Coco for your first grade 3. So at least you can get your Lulu skill off, get a draw, and then if he hits the Vanguard, of course, you can actually just draw 2, and you just draw 2, put 1 card into the deck, so you can like recycle heal triggers. So you still plus, not as much as Coco, and plus it helps you search out Coco's easier, excuse me. So I like it a lot. And of course, since there's no soul underneath the grade 3, you can just ride another Coco on top. So you can either ride Coco twice in one game, or you can just ride her on top of the other, so you can still get it off later. So that's always nice. And then I run 2 Battle Sister Souffle. When boosted by OTT, she gains 2,000, so put her under an 8k beater, and you will have a 20k column. So really good, very powerful. So that's the grade 3s. Next for grade 2s, you have... I run 3 copies of Oracle Guardian Wiseman. Although the 10k vanillas are still fairly relevant right now in TCG format, I decided just to actually take 1 out and opted to run 1 more extra of my other grade 2s. So 3 is just fine. You really want him to be the Vanguard turn 2, so it's easier to defend. Other than that, I mean, he can still get the job done in the rear guard, but there's better alternatives. One of them will be 4 copies of Mocha. Like her better than Glace, just because Mocha, you're pretty much always going to have 4 cards or more in hand to get the 3k boost when she attacks. So it's a lot more reliable than Glace, because if you ride Coco a second time, you're going to have a card in the soul, so Glace actually loses her boost. Mocha's a little bit more consistent. So I like 4 of her. I mean, she can definitely thread in 11k Vanguards unboosted, and just overall a great card in the rear guard. And then next is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. 4 Silent Tom. 4 of them. He's one of your win conditions in the deck. He helps create what I call the kill columns, which is just a column in your rear circle, in one of your rear circles that just help finish your opponents. Because of course, if you put Tom under like an 8k or 7k booster against most Vanguards, it could definitely devastate your opponent, do a lot of minusing to them, and... Ooh, flash. There's actually a hurricane going on. But yeah, I run 4 of them because Silent Tom's actually really good defensively, because my opponents will waste attacks to get rid of him. But if I have multiple copies in my deck, I can easily just call another one, and then, you know, it'll be the same thing as I was going before with him. So really key essential card in the deck. I run 4 because I want to get multiple copies of him. I don't see how he clogs the hand. Worst case scenario, if you don't need him, then use him as a 5k shield. Simple. But I use him to abuse him. 4 is good. Next up, for my grade 1s, you have 4 copies of Oracle Guardian Gemini. Of course, standard AK beater. the idea with him, if you're facing like let's say a deck that uses mainly 10k Vanguards, you don't want to actually boost him under the Vanguard, under Coco. You really want to put him under like your Souffle or Tom in the rear circle and like in the corners, because that's really where he performs the best. Because overall that's where he plays the biggest role. So I will do it I will do it if I have to, but you always want to keep them in your hand until you can create those columns with your Toms or Souffle. Then you have 4 copies of your perfect guards. You draw so much in this deck, of course you have to run 4 perfect guards. Every deck except maybe Angel Feathers and Spike Brothers need to run 4 perfect guards. Simple. Then you run 2 Emerald Witch Lala. She's not bad in the deck. She's kind of overrated for triple rare, but there was nothing good for Oracle Think Tank to make a triple rare. Plus the artwork is nice. But she's a 7k booster, which is something OTTs have been missing for a while. And when you call her, to rear circle and you have no soul, you just discard and draw. So maybe maybe after you ride Coco, you draw into Lala, you can call Lala behind Coco, create a 20k column, and then you can at least maybe get rid of a spare grade 3 you don't need or something like that. So I mean that's the use for her. Then I have these 2 cards that have great synergy with each other. You have 2 Battle Sister Omelet and 1 who gazes at the truth. What gazes at the truth, or Truth Watcher, he's actually really good to keep the cycle going in this deck. Because every game you're guaranteed to almost do Coco's skill twice because you counterblast 2 both times. If you heal once, you can do it a 3rd time. However, you need to get rid of a card in the soul to do it a 3rd time. Truth Gazer lets you do that. Because when he attacks, you Soul Blast 1, he gains 3,000. Simple. Kind of like High Speed Bracky. So put him under Omelet. They're swinging for 16, which is a great number. What's nice is, with Battle Sister Omelet, when you have no cards in Soul, she gains 3,000 when she attacks. So you can just Soul Blast 1, boost with her, 16, and then switch between them when necessary and still hitting for 16, so that's a really good synergy they have. So that's really nice. These 2 combo very well. They're really great in this deck. And then last but not least, 1 Weather Grow Milk, just their 10k booster. The reason why I say conserve your Gemini a little later, because if you end up drawing to Weather Grow Milk, you want to put her under Coco. And like late game, I only have 1. You only need 1 just because you can always draw her late game and just drop her to help make a final push. And I mean, if she goes to the damage zone, then that's fine. Then you can just put anything you want under Coco. But I always try to get the milk as soon as I can. So that's the grade 1 lineup. Get cleaned up here. Then last but not least, for your triggers, you have 4 heals, best heal trigger in the game, but don't care what anyone says. 4 Psychic Birds, 4 Nikes, making it 8 crit. Now I do run 2 stand triggers, which I don't think are being utilized a lot in these in this deck. Stand is really good because the thing is, if you run too many draw triggers, you're gonna end up drawing into them a lot, especially with your Cocos, and that sucks. Draw triggers are the last thing you want to draw with Coco's skill. So at least stand triggers not only gives it more offensive capability for this deck, since of course I don't have the Battle Sister Ginger out yet. Gives you a little bit more offensive capability into another 10k shield you can draw into. Then I do run 1 Miracle Kid, 1 Dream Eater, just 1 of each. Draw trigger making it 2. Just 1 of each, just in case, just to kind of confuse my opponent, so they can't really predict how many triggers I'm running. So it's good variety, makes it less predictable. So pretty good solid lineup. Very happy with it. Now just to show you real quick, just how the board setup you want to do. Now once you ride Coco, you bring Lulu out to a corner, rear circle, get your +3. Now the ideal board setup is right in front of Lulu, you want to put either Mocha or Wiseman, because they're going to be hitting for 15 or 16. So let's say we put Mocha here. So that's 1 good column. Preferably under the Vanguard, a good 7k booster can work a lot of times. Gemini will be your last resort. But of course, preferably you want to put Weather Grow Milk. And then this column, this is what I call the kill column. This is where you try to get the most out of this column. So you want to try and put like a Tom or a Souffle. And this is where you want Gemini. That way you're hitting for 20k or a good 16 with Tom, which is powerful. Or hey, if you don't have any of those cards, your Omelet and Truth Watcher combo is always good. So you have these two switching beat back and forth, so that's not bad either. So pretty much when you do that, I mean, you're really setting yourself up to win. Then you just ride Coco, keep drawing more cards, just keep throwing down, keep them toms coming, really minus your opponent and put pressure on them. That's really how you've been successful with this deck. But yeah, guys, that is my profile for my witches. Very happy with the deck so far. Very powerful. Very fun. I mean, it's very fun to play. It's very simple, but it works. And of course, I got my Scarlet map because I think her and Coco are twins. Thumbs up for that. But yeah. But yeah, guys, definitely leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and definitely give the thumbs up to this video if you want to see this deck in action. If you want to see me record any matches with this, and give me suggestions of what you want me to play. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.